Dear audiences, in the beginning of 1975, the General Headquarters in Hanoi, the highest commanding post of the Vietnam People's Army, continuously received telegrams on victories of our armed forces and people on the southern battlefield. This rapidly changed the power balance between our forces and the enemy in South Vietnam. Along with powerful offensive conducted by our armed forces at the lightning speed on the enemy in the mainland, the General Headquarters decided to launch a special operation to liberate the Spratleys. Thanks to that timely decision, our armed forces quickly defeated the garrison of the Saigon Army on the islands of the Spratly, gaining control of the Spratleys as well as the East Sea or South China Sea. We had an interview with Major General Nguyễn Văn Ninh, former Deputy Chief of the Operations Department under the General Staff, who worked at the Operations Department for 20 years. In 1975, Nguyễn Văn Ninh was a staff officer at the General Headquarters. He was one of the officers at the General Headquarters who drafted the combat plan to liberate the Spratleys in 1975. In the initial combat plan, it would take 2 years to liberate the South Vietnam, but the developments on the battlefield changed so quickly in favor of our side, and our armed forces and people in the South won big victory over the enemy. On March 24, 1975, the Central Military Commission submitted another strategic plan to the Politburo, proposing to speed up the liberation of the South and attack the enemy on the land and at sea. According to the strategic plan, the military would prepare for a strategic offensive on the final hideout of the Saigon regime and a sea operation to liberate islands of the Spratly archipelago occupied by the Saigon Army. On March 25, 1975, the Politburo issued a resolution agreeing on the strategic plan. In Chapter 8 of his memoir, The Headquarters in the Spring of Victory, General Võ Nguyên Giáp wrote, "If the military of another country took the control of these islands, the situation would be more complicated. The biggest difficulty for our forces was that we had a relatively small naval force at that time. The Spratly liberation operation must be speedy, daring, surprising, and sure of success. It was a crucial task because the Spratly archipelago belonged to Vietnam. According to a study, the sea area has potentially large oil reserve. From a strategic perspective, seas and oceans will provide main natural resources for mankind as from the 21st century." At 17 hours 30 minutes on April 4, 1975, General Võ Nguyên Giáp signed a secret telegraph 990 BTK. It read, "Following the Politburo mandate, the Central Military Commission tasked the Military Region 5 Command and the Naval High Command to draft a combat plan and mobilize forces and means in preparation for liberating the Spratleys. It is a very important task." At that time, our forces and people won big victories on the southern battlefield. We all believe in the final victory. On April the 6th and the 7th, we got intelligence saying that garrisons on the Spratly Islands were losing their morale. It was time for our forces to liberate the islands. The force to liberate the Spratly was quickly to be formed. It included Naval Commando Regiment 126 under the Naval Command, Marine Special Force Battalion 471 under the Military Region 5 Command, an Infantry Battalion under Military Region 5 Command, a contingent of Land Artillery Regiment 368 and 3 transport ships of Naval Brigade 125. The crew of the 3 transport ships used to run famous no-number ship to transport weapons from the north to the south, so they were all used to the sea routes in the East Sea. The Spratly Liberation Force was led by Mai Nang, commander of Naval Commando Regiment 126. After the liberation of Da Nang City on March the 29th, 1975, commandos of Military Region 5 continued to liberate the country's sacred islands of Spratly. War veteran Bùi Quang Giang is one of the commandos engaging in the operation to liberate the Spratly Islands in 1975. When Da Nang City was liberated, all of us felt very happy and thought of peace and national unification. But we were then ordered to participate in the Spratly Liberation Operation. We were unwilling to engage in the special operation even though we might risk our lives. To blindfold the U.S. airborne reconnaissance, commandos hid in the cargo hold underneath the deck of the ship while the crew disguised themselves as fishermen. On April the 11th, 1975, the elite commando force of the Navy and Military Region 5 began their operation to liberate islands in the East Sea from the Saigon Army.